Begin in Solitude.
Positions. Sorry, you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes. Not right now.
You should tell her that her uncle is from the betrayed.
Not right now.
Best she knows.
Just
now.
arrive in the city?
Enjoy a good
Is it true what they say?
All
Hello? Although I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. We just met, so we're hardly friends. Not to mean that we won't be friends someday, or even today. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this. Can we start over?
Honestly, I think Solitude looks more like an
Well met as well. I mean, well met and greetings. What I'm trying to say is, greetings and well met. Oh, sweet taffy treats, I did it again, didn't I? Well, I was kind of hoping I could. I know, you're probably thinking I've gone mad the way I fumbled through a meeting. And, truth is, I'm perfectly happy just being knitted the milkmaid. Well, my friends have all said that I have a great singing voice. I suppose they should, because that's what friends do. But after hearing it a number of times from different people, you start to think there might be something to it. So here I am. No, not yet. I talked to Viarmo, and he said that Pentia Atea would hear my audition when her schedule clears up. Oh, which is completely understandable. I imagine a master vocalist must have a very hectic schedule. It must be water, or some honey-based tea. It's hard to believe a master vocalist like Pentia would damage her vocal cords by drinking alcohol. At least not in public, anyways. Right now, my biggest fear is having my throat go hoarse the day Pentia calls my name. And I still haven't recovered from the bout of rust chancre. One of the bards from the college suggested chewing on Nirn root, but I wasn't sure if he was serious. Heh, I suppose it would be quite irritating. I didn't plan on singing with it in my mouth, though. Oh no, I came here on a ship from Laneland, near Iliac Bay in Hammerfell. I didn't come alone, though. My fiancé at the time came with me. He stuck it out here in Skyrim for a few months, but eventually boarded a ship headed back home. It's my fault, really. I knew he didn't want to come to Skyrim, and it was probably the guilt that made him follow me here. It's one of those things. If I loved him, I shouldn't have asked him to leave. If he loved me, he wouldn't have asked me to stay. So in the end, I guess neither of us loved each other. But we'd already invested so much time into the relationship, and so he sacrificed everything for me. Well, we didn't have a lot of gold, but my fiancé said he sold the farm so we could sail to Solitude. It was actually kind of romantic. But at some point on the way here, I caught a bad case of rust chancre. I got a rash on my arms and some swelling in my cheeks. But it was the damage to my throat that was the most depressing part. It took months before I could even speak. He got impatient. The truth was, he expected us to be back in Hammerfell before the crops were in season. I should have known he didn't sell the farm. The Bard's College was only an excuse. What I really wanted to do was travel and see the world. I wanted to be somewhere grand, a place where the castles touch the sky. But really, I just wanted to be somewhere different. Somewhere new. Just the lute. Can you imagine me on the drum? I can't. Well, the lute I have was my grandmother's. It turns out she was once a bard who studied at the college here in the city. My mother gave it to me before I left. She said she would have done it sooner, but she never realized I wanted to be a bard. I told her that made two of us. Yeah, I still feel rather clumsy with it. Sometimes I feel like it's lost all patience with my fingers. It's a cranky old thing and is quick to get out of tune. But when it's right, it can sing as beautifully as any other. You mean like sing? Right here? Okay. But my voice is a little hoarse from practicing. Is there anything in particular you want to hear? That's about the old legend, isn't it? I'll do my best, but to be honest, I'm not sure of all the lines. Our hero has a warrior soul. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes. With a shout wielding power of ancient Nord skills. Believe,
My ma used to shout a lot.
the
If she knew the dragon language, Skyrim might
Dragonborn
be long gone
comes.
by now.
It's an end to the evil and all flying foes. Beware, beware, the Dragonborn
Before I
comes.
became your housecarl, I never
For the
realized
darkness
being a bodyguard
has
also
passed and I forgot the rest. I'm really sorry, sincerely so. I think it's like, and the legend keeps growing, something something, Dragonborn comes. I'll ask Jorn next time I see him.
Damn shame, Rogue. You're a good
True.
Damn.
On the one hand, all this anxiety can't be good for my health. Or my skin. On the other hand, at least now I can still cling to hope. Well, I know hope's something you feed children mostly. You tell them to dream big because they can be whatever they want to be. But for them, it doesn't really mean anything. If they say they want to be a bard or a jarl, it's just another answer to a question. They might as well say they want to be an apple. Because it's real. I mean, look at this city. It's so large, so bright, and everything about it seems too impossible to exist. But it's not a dream. It's right there, in front of me. Isn't everybody? But if I had to say what frightens me, it isn't failing as a bard. I'm scared I'll wake up one morning, and there won't be a need for vocal training. I'm worried one day I won't have a reason to borrow Gerard's books. I think about all the wonderful people I've met here, and I'm scared to say goodbye. I know. Eventually, it's going to get awkward. I mean, I've already been here for more than a season. Actually, it might be awkward already. Beyrand asked me the other day what it is I do here. Blacksmiths, you know how they are. Until next time.
You lost? Mm-hmm.
Is that magic? Careful, please.
Where does the trash of Skyrim go? Better yet, where are the bats?
Welcome to the winking ski. Take a load off and enjoy the atmosphere.
It's a fine day with you around.
Want to go look around the castle tower?
Aren't you a sight? Sore eyes.
Very well.
So exciting when new folk come into town. I bet you've had plenty of adventures. Okay, I need to get back to the palace soon anyway.
Hello, I'm Gisli, but you can just call me Erica's sister. Yes, my older brother, and the person you probably want to be speaking to right now. But really, since Torig's death, Falk Firebeard wields the true power of the Jarl's Court. My brother is nothing more than a pompous little fop. Oh, if you're looking for a good attitude, go see the bards. They'll fake it for you if nothing else. If you're looking for truth instead, see Noster. He's a good example of what life has to offer. And if you're just looking to feel good, go get some spiced wine from Yvette. But whatever you do, just leave me alone. We'll speak again later, if we must.
This is an ode to Skyrim's staunch protectors.
Spare some gold for a veteran?
We drink to our
Oh,
youth,
thank you.
to the days come
Divines
by.
bless your kind heart.
Age of
All right,
aggression is just about done.
I was the finest scout in the Legion once.
We'll
Tracked
drive
down all the
out
places in the
storms
wilds
and
that were
storm,
causing people
but we
trouble.
don't. With our
Lost my
blood
helmet
on
in
our
one of the old
steel,
caves.
take back
My
our
pretty,
spirit
pretty helmet.
times.
Life just got worse after that. Kept losing things. So many things. Oh, you could? I sure would love to have it again. Could show you some of my old scouting tricks. What? You see a man falling on hard times, and you think he's been like that forever? I was there. I fought in the Great War. I was on the field at Anvil. And when I was struck down, they left me. You understand? They left me for dead. I didn't leave them. Always good talking to you, friend.
Welcome to the winking skeever, friend. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. Well, as it turns out, I had a pet skeever when I was a boy, and he used to wink. They were smaller back then. Here, take a look at this.
Let's sate that appetite, hmm?
Remember the winking skeever next time you're footsore.
If you're heading to the Blue Palace, you might want to rethink that outfit. You're really going to the Blue Palace? That presents an opportunity. If you are willing to wear one of Radiant Raymond's outfits and speak to the Jarl, I would not only pay you, but let you keep the outfit. Good. Here's the outfit. Try to get Elisif's opinion on it, and if she likes it, mention it's from Radiant Raymond. Nothing at all. It's very nice. If you want something with a little more style, however, you should come by our shop, Radiant Raymond. We could fix you right up. Not many people care these days. The world is the worse for it. Remember Radiant Raymond when you need a
I'm getting on the first boat out of this accursed province. It was a cabin somewhere on the north bank of the White, near Riverwood. A kind old lady was living there. Or so I thought. She let me stay the night, but told me not to go into the cellar. Naturally, I got curious. There was all sorts of oddities in there. I think she was a witch or a necromancer or something. In any case, I got out of that cellar and never stopped running.
We all know and love.
I know. I considered going to a face sculptor, but she refused to work with me. You can try her if you want. She lives in some hole in the ground over in Markarth. I don't know about you, but I've got to get as far away from Skyrim as possible. Safe journeys.
Solitude used to be more. Want to go look around the castle tower? The pleasure is mine.
Dragonborn, come. Feel free to make requests. Oh, no. But being surrounded by good music, good drink, and good friends is all I've ever asked for. Only in that I'm a graduate. I work here at the Winking Skeever. I would highly recommend it, though. Talk to Viarmo if you're interested. Thank you. Sure. My voice could use a rest.
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Where did you learn to make bows so well?
Oh, hey there.
I learned my charm and quick wits. I used to be an Imperial Ranger, my boy.
Wish I could learn some of that charm. I'm just good with bows, not people.
You'd make a better Imperial Ranger than me. I may have charmed the locals, but the Empire soldiers hated my out of Skyrim.
It's too bad the burning of King Olaf was called off this year. I think some of the younger bards would have really gotten a kick out of it.
Well, you can understand Elisif not wanting it.
Damn rebels.
It is a shame, though.
Hello, friend.
Good evening. Be careful out there.
To the Bard's College? Why, the performances, of course. I'm a bit of a culture aficionado. I enjoy anything involving art and culture.
Mind if I buy
And
you a
there is
drink?
no better place to find it in
you were the
Skyrim
last
than
man
here
in
in
the
Solitude. I even hear that the museum is reopening, which should be quite exciting.
The name's Ash. If it's mercenary work you need, that'll be 200 gold. Then that's business. Any questions before we venture out? Glad you asked. I deal mostly with two-handed weapons, if you couldn't already tell by my massive sword here. Might be surprising for a woman of my size, but I can wield these beasts rather well. I'm a mercenary, looking for work around here. Let's keep it at that. Because I'm not hungry, and it's none of your business. While I am skillful in combat, I haven't been a mercenary for long. I might not stay one for long either. Personal reasons, but I'm training for something. Oh, this thing. Not exactly the most practical looking, is it? Agreed. But there's a reason I wear these. Let's just say they're a lot tougher than they look. You might be surprised. Fine. I do have one for you. What job do you want me to do? Is this more of a general escort or a dungeon exploration? You've definitely done your fair share of exploring. Good. You don't have a lot of experience. That's fine. I'll just have to keep that in mind. There are ways to determine someone's combat experience just by looking at them. A mentor taught me. Here, I'll let you borrow some skill books. It'll make my job easier. And it's nice to be working with you. What now? An isolated mountain region in High Rock. I'm not exactly a local here in Skyrim, though you could probably already tell that from my Breton appearance.
Mind if I buy you a drink?
I ended up here in Skyrim as it seems like it's the best place for mercenary work. And I don't think I'm wrong, seeing as we've been working together. No, there's no need. There'd just be even more pain and sorrow. Yes? What did you need? Yes? What did you need? Until next time.
There's been rumors of Talos worshippers leaving notes at the Temple of the Divines. I've never seen one myself, though.
I'm all for diplomacy, but the sooner the Emperor deals with this civil war mess, the sooner we can get back to Cyrodiil.
I seem to see you around a lot. You wouldn't be following me, would you?
Fletching suits me. It's difficult and sometimes tedious. Ah, yet another new face. I'm from Hammerfell, you see. I can hardly keep track of all the people I've been meeting.
Where the dragon attacked? We've heard rumors of death and fire from the skies, but no real news. Then we should soon be selling arrows by the bushel. A sword is no good against a dragon. Aye, but I'll be here in Solitude for longer still. Fiata's skill as a Fletcher drew me to this place. I wanted to learn. And there is still much of Skyrim I wish to see. I hear there is a city, Windhelm, that is nearly white with... what do you call it? Oh yeah, snow. And far to the west lies a ruin, Volskag. Inside there's said to be a wall, black as night, and it speaks in the ancient dragon tongue. There are wonders in this place I never dreamed imaginable. Good to talk to a fellow traveler.
Now, welcome to Solitude, the center of trade and
Look, I don't really know you.
Right as you enter, you'll see our prized asset.
Perhaps, but necessary. My cousin Fura is somewhere out there in Skyrim right now, fighting Ulfric Stormcloak and his damned insurrectionists. She wouldn't have to be there at all if it weren't for Rogvir. And my aunt wouldn't have to worry about her daughter. You really don't know? He lets Ulfric Stormcloak escape Solitude. Ulfric rides in, murders the High King, and Rogvir lets him ride right back out. Most people head over to the Winking Skeever. If you're not interested in music or drink, you can at least talk to Corpulus. He can fill you in on any of the latest gossip. All right then.
Yes? What is it that you want?
Need something? Until next time.
Well, well. This is a curious sight. One rarely... encounters such daring start to... Real choices... and solitude. I suppose not all adventurers prioritize elegance.
I think we've met
The sands are cold, but Khajiit feels warmness from your presence.
Winking Skeever, ring any bells?
Perhaps. Maybe you were wearing something more regular that day. I only remember the outfits.
Mind
And
if
that
I buy you a
outfit.
drink?
Not, you were the last man in the Empire.
Daring. Perhaps. Functionality comes first, but aesthetics are a close second.
Oh, yes. Why do you have to choose? A statement of power, individuality, and impeccable taste. And those boots, an inspired choice. They accentuate the lines of your unique armor quite efficiently.
The design is my father's, modified for optimal mobility and protection, with a touch of personal refinement. I'm pleased it meets your discerning standards.
Indeed. You have a keen eye, darling. Not many possess the audacity to challenge conventional norms and still manage to look absolutely captivating. Oh, you know, darling, I have a few pieces in the back that might complement your current ensemble.
The roads of Skyrim can be treacherous.
Perhaps a silk scarf to accentuate those striking eyes, or a finely crafted belt to cinch that waistline.
My current attire serves its purpose, but I'll keep your establishment in mind should my wardrobe require expansion. Emotion is prohibited.
I could listen to her play all day.
She's okay. A little breathy and a little harsh on the notes.
Speaking of harsh, you bards don't cut each other any slack, do you?
Not in our nature.
I'd rather fight for my life than live it. Right behind you.
Can I buy you a drink, darling?
Oh, yes, please.
Hey there.
Yes? What can I do for you? I'd better get going.
I've heard mead dries the throat and milk tends to clog it. I've also been trying to drink plenty of water and avoid the hearth. Hopefully it's enough.
They say brawl fights at an inn only create chaos and disturbance for the place. I say it builds character. Plus, everyone's always applauding you, strange as it is.
Warm sands, friend.
What?
Good luck out there. Took long enough. Listen, Rizak hasn't done anything, and he's not causing any trouble. If you'll just leave him alone, he won't bother anyone. What do you mean, what? Do you intend to say you're not here to kick this one out of the pub? to tell him cats have no place in this land? No, that is quite alright. This land is so very cold that even indoors, Rizok finds himself shivering. And yet, he wishes to stay. Yes, better shivering than frozen. Now then, what exactly was it that you wanted? Rizok is Gajit's name. He is a merchant of sorts. Arrived in Solitude recently from the forests of Denmar and elsewhere. You know of the Valmor, yes? Of the Aldmeri Dominion's assimilation of elsewhere. Well, not all Gajit have gone so readily into the High Elves' arms. There is a resistance, and Rizok was part of it. Supplied the resistance with various and sundry items, enough to keep them going, fighting. Yes, well, nothing lasts forever. Well, Gajit's inventory is not what it once was, but he does have a few things squirreled away. Eh? How do you know about that? You weren't with me. No, wouldn't happen. He wouldn't come all this way just for Rizok. Yes, Rizok has horses. In fact, that is all he has at the moment. Not here in the pub, mind you, but nearby. What? No, too far to walk. But the Rizak will tell you. If you are interested, and you purchase a horse from him, he will give you something. A summoning horn. Each horse has been trained to respond to the call of its own horn. Blow into it, and they will come running. Quite convenient. Yes, well, Rizok has learned over the years that the more valuable the item, the less likely he should show it to the customer before they pay. You wouldn't believe this, but as it turns out, thieves are relatively common in this land. But trust Gajit, these horses are worth every septim. Oh, yes. You see this scar across this one's throat, up under his chin. He told you he was a merchant for the new Denmar resistance, yes? Well, as it turns out, the Valmor did not appreciate that fact. He was captured some years ago, as he traveled through the forest with a shipment. And rather than take this one prisoner, the Valmor Justiciar elected to have this one put down. His throat was slit, and he was left to die. This one watched the life drain out of him. If a group from the Renrija Green hadn't ambushed the Valmor and rescued this one, he would have died. As is, his voice was the only casualty worth mentioning. Yes, watching your own blood pool around you and seep into the ground. It changes you. One brush with death was enough for Rizok. He sneaked out of elsewhere on, of all things, a Thalmor ship. And when it landed, he found himself in Skyrim. His brothers and sisters in the Resistance would have his pelt if they knew what he had done, but... Khajiit would rather be cold than dead. Yes, down to business. Farewell, traveler.
Yes? Yes, what do you want? Can't you see I'm busy dying? And not everyone can be bored to death, but I bet the ones that are were talking to you. I will be whatever I want to be, you brainless cur.
Not much to ask.
I will not be courteous. For what nobility I had left departed along with my fortune. No, I was stripped of it by the only thing that could affect someone of my eminence. I lost it to Dragonfire. Helgen. I was there.
Hello there.
Greetings.
Somehow,
You know
I
you can
doubt
afford a
that.
septim or two.
One with your considerable waistline would have proved too tempting a morsel for a dragon to ignore. How absurd! My personal chef saw to it that I ate only the healthiest meals, and my servants made sure to compliment me on the result. Were my servants lying to me all this time? If they were smart, they were. But people of low birth are all twaddling nitwits. Take you, for example. Oh, I don't hold it against you. Were I to choose you, my name alone would be enough to elevate our progeny beyond your obvious shortcomings. Truth be told, I have suffered worse in the name of making my fortune. I wonder if you are spoken for. Which brings us back to my original point. I am in need of a suitable partner, one who can finance the lifestyle I've become accustomed to. Because, for all intents and purposes, I'd rather be dead than poor, and every second I am the latter brings me closer to the former. So, as the Nords are fond to do, I seek marriage without courtship. Time is short, and every day is worth 2 tomorrows. I inherited it, and by that I mean I earned every septum. My mother was a hard woman, and she treated her servants, her farmhands, and her children like hardened criminals. I remember we had an orc servant, bastard born, and every time my mother got drunk, she made it a point to remind him. She gave the poor sod a serving of knuckle pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 square meals a day, right square in the jaw. I don't have to imagine how much they hurt. I know the taste of it all too well. Yes, only the beatings weren't enough. Bruises heal, but the words stick you like a dagger. One day I asked a servant why he puts up with it, and he told me, same reason you do. For the gold. I learned a valuable lesson that day. The one with the gold makes the rules. Those without it are prisoners. Those with it can forever live free.
Try my spiced wine. The best wine you'll ever taste. Better than Hammerfell rum. Better even than mulled wine from Daggerfall.
I most certainly am not. The lessons I learned were not gifts, but things that I paid an overwhelming price for. People always talk about the horrors of discrimination, but they seem to revel in it when it affects the rich. While it's true that when my mother died, I was afforded every luxury, but they seem to revel in it when it affects the rich. And what should I do with it? Work the fields like some common harridan? I know my worth, and for one with my stock, there are only two sensible ways to make a fortune. By marriage, or by blood. And unless some wealthy uncle shows up with gold spilling out of his pockets, the only viable alternative is marriage. What's that supposed to mean? Someone like me? You mean someone who's young, highborn, and educated? I am affable. I am sweet. I am the most devastating beauty Skyrim has witnessed in 5 millennia. And you are evidently blind. The cracks in my... I beg your pardon? I am a Breton. It's no secret we have elvish blood in our veins, and like our Dunmer cousins, our fine lines are considered beauty marks. And who do you think fed the soldiers and reared their mounts? Ashwood Farm had a contract with the Empire, and they paid handsomely. With no Jarl, there were no taxes, and with a military garrison situated in the city, our homes were guarded tighter than the Blue Palace itself. Helgen was indeed a military outpost, and that is precisely what made it profitable.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
I don't think we've seen one decent cat in our travels. Okay.
Come in and shut the door. Oh, what delight. Another charming customer. Radiant Raiment has the finest attire in all of Skyrim. That is how we get business. It is when my customers waste time chatting and not buying. Let's see if we can't find an outfit that suits you. Finally.
Remember, a smart mouth can't save you when your head is on the floor.
Sister dear, could you try...
Take my advice. Never gamble. Damn Ernskar has me in debt up to the eyes. Too many drinking games, too many bets, and I'm too old to ever raise the coin on my own. He's a stubborn oaf. I don't know what good it'll do. You should speak to my daughter, Yvette. She's the brains of it.
It doesn't matter how many times you ask.
You might want to rethink that. You're missing out on some wonderful opportunities working in that bar. I've got a little word if you're interested, traveler.
You're passing through Solitude? Maybe you're looking to make some easy gold, yes? It's easy to find things to sell. Things nobody will miss. Things from underground, or just left lying around in someone's house. I bet the two of us, we're very alike. So why not take the next step? We can help each other. My sister Deja and I are treasure hunters. We like to collect things. I knew you looked like a clever one. With the war, many more ships come through these docks, loaded with weapons and pay, but few people, and they pass through dangerous waters. We have an interest in one of those boats, the Ice Runner. The Solitude Lighthouse will be guiding it in, but if its fire were to go out, the Ice Runner would run aground. Don't worry about them. We'll make sure they wash up safe. Maybe they'll even pay us for their heroic rescue from their sad crash. What an interesting idea. I think if someone were to do something like that, there would definitely be a certain amount of loot to be shared. Yes, if someone were to put out the lighthouse fire and then meet me on the docks afterwards, I could certainly direct them to that loot. It would be best if we spoke little until you've completed your task.
Youngest bard at the Bard's College, at your service. Thanks a lot.
All kinds of wine for sale, all tasty and fermented to make you feel
I look forward to our next meeting.
Come and browse. Let's trade.
Yes.
Quality goods right here.
Get me mad, and I'll prank you. And not a little, a lot.
Huh? Huh? What? Who are you? Oh, you come to steal my dragon breath mead? Well, too bad. Some fellow already did that.
I've got something for just about everybody here.
Oh, real clumsy drunk. Bald as a chicken egg and a face with just as much expression. A brown egg, though. Red guard with white whiskers and beggar clothes as dirty as the wrong end of a hooker. Drank it all, he did. You see that thief. You tell him he's a bad sneak, and his breath smells like a troll's crotch. Also, mead. It does? Oh dear. I better do something about that then. Chewing on dragon's tongue usually does the trick. At least that's what my personal alchemist used to tell me. Was the fire that burned up the stink. But I had to get rid of him so I could buy more mead. I didn't get wealthy by wasting my fortune on luxuries. I don't do anything fancy, just live a humble life. Don't spend coin on things I don't need. Sure, I could shop at Radiant Raiment. Maybe buy that house. What's it called? Proudspire Manor. But that would exhaust 1/10 of my fortune. I mean, what's it going for? 5 gold pieces? 7 maybe? Then you got to furnish it too. It'd be a bit foolish to squander my fortune on something I don't need. Ale is food, beer is food, spiced wine even has that jazzby grapes in it or something. Says so right on the label. Mead's made from honey too. Folk like to put in all sorts of healthy ingredients like dried first Miriam, elf's ear, and juniper berries. Just about all spirits got some kind of food in them, but they got happiness in them too. Some may call it a disease, the way people can't stop drinking. Well, if it's a rash of euphoria. If it's a fever I'd say hello to any day of the week, and twice on Sundays. Yeah, get a job, you drunken louts! Who are we screaming at? Oh, by the divines, no. I come from a little town known as Rorikstead. It's a fine hamlet, but I know that Xanatar had bigger things planned for me. Through his wisdom, I was guided here to Solitude, and true to his word, it turned out to be a great place to make an honest living. Every day I walk out to the market and collect seed money for my business venture. At first, I wasn't even doing that. I just came out to get a little sun, look at the competing businesses, and start milling the grain in my head. I think people saw I was making good bread out of that grain, as the passers-by started handing me their coins. Xanatar's blessing, no doubt. As far as I'm concerned, we're practically partners in this thing. Still waiting for that idea, though. Need some more drink to loosen up all the wax in my head. Too bad for my investors. Until that idea comes, it's all just a lot of sunk costs. You're afraid? What are you afraid of? Is it corn? I used to be afraid of something once. I think it was called Jerome Tremaine. Creepy thing with a floppy jester's hat. Never did like jesters. Them and one other thing. Best I don't remember what. Better to forget your memories than stumble over them in the dark. All right.
Yes?
You lost? I make sure Erica keeps breathing. No, that honor is Sabil Stentor's. A smart man steers clear of Stentor, and keeps himself out of the dungeon when she's having a bad day. Let's just say that the headsman's axe may not be the worst way for a Solitude jail prisoner to die. Look at that. I've told you to watch your tongue, and mine is waggling. I've said enough. The Dawn Guard are apparently focused on exterminating vampires, noble and brute alike. I am sorry I cannot provide you with further help, but this conversation requires a great deal of effort on my part. I can't. If I do, I may as well cut my own throat. I told you the headsman's axe may not be the worst way for a Solitude jail prisoner to die. Go on. I don't think you understand. I'm not answering questions. Oh, I think you'll find that magic is rare in Skyrim. Winterhold, though, the college there has it in abundance. Look there if you wish to learn.
If you've come to file another complaint, I won't deign to hear it. If my presence is that much of an issue, tell it to the steward. Everyone whines and moans about how loosely I flap my tongue, as if vain Ericure's eccentric love life were not a matter of public knowledge.
Your Eminence, my scrying
And for the last time, I am not a Thalmor agent here to destabilize the court. You're thinking of my terribly unfashionable twin sister, Mithril. My name, on the other hand, is Nithriel, and I am both an attendant to the court and someone worthy of your
Thank you,
confidence.
Jarl Elisif. What about the cave?
I will have someone take care of the cave.
Well, let's just say Thane Ericure prefers to do his shopping in the dungeon rather than the marketplace.
Steward, I have an idea that might
On
help
some
bolster the
days,
morale
he'll
of
even emerge with a sack that rattles so violently it betrays its contents as he walks. Although I think, and you didn't hear this from me, that Ericure isn't the one doling out the punishment. He strikes me as someone who likes to be bent over a chair with a gag in his mouth. His sister, on the other hand, is another story.
General needs his soldiers out in the field, fighting battles against the Stormcloaks. I must protest, my Jarl.
As you know,
A parade would make you an easy target for a Stormcloak.
No, I wasn't implying they perform these acts together. Although now that I think about it, how salacious. You, stranger, have a good eye. I wonder, is that from experience? When it comes to deviants, they do say it takes one to know one. What manner of skeleton do you keep in your closet? I promise it will be our little secret.
Let the Empire fight its own war, with its own funds, and without hijacking our supplies and soldiers. Let Hafingkar rebuild.
My lady, surely you're not that naive.
Well, that wouldn't be such a terrible thing, would it? It would, at the very minimum, remove certain unwanted solicitors from contention. Unless your proclivities are so queer you'd rather not have them advertised.
That is quite
Now
enough.
I am
Perhaps I will raise these
intrigued.
issues when I have an audience with General Tullius.
I'm not a gossiper, just gregarious. I don't embellish. It's just the facts don't convey the spirit of what really happens. I'm not high maintenance, just high-minded. When I petition for funding for a party or festival, or new robes for the Thanes, I do so with purpose.
Simply cancel an appointment with
Nobles
Jarl.
cannot simply skulk
in my
around like
capital
common thieves.
I'm
We
afraid you
must
can't.
present ourselves
This
in a
authority
fashion
comes from the
befitting our rank.
You also serve, technically.
He uses all of Hafengar's resources and doesn't answer to me in the slightest? This hardly seems fair.
Fair is a word rarely applied to politics, my grace.
Oh, do tell.
afraid you
You can always confide in me. Now there's a lie if ever I heard one. You sound like Eriko when I asked him why he was mumbling about some woman named Yato. Let me know if you want to get
If it's
anything
arms or
off
armor
your
you need,
chest.
see Baron in Castle Dower. Bloody good blacksmith, that one.
Do you have business with the court? You mean the Dragon Bridge issue? I'll be honest with you. I was planning to let that go. Varnius is a bit jumpy at the best of times. There have been reports of weird happenings near Wolfskull Cave. Travelers disappearing, odd lights. I suspect wild animals, or perhaps bandits. I don't think it's worth our time with the war going on. But if you want to clear out the cave, I'll make sure you're repaid for your work. The cave has a bad history. Long ago, Potema the Wolf Queen used it for necromantic rituals. That's where it got the name. That was over 500 years ago. Nothing much down there now. But everyone's always convinced the cave is haunted. That remains to be seen. By rights, she has a legitimate claim as High Queen of Skyrim. But we must have the support of the other Jarls for that claim to have any meaning. Should they accept her rule, we will have peace. Of course. Here, this is for you.
What are you... I'm not looking for conversation.
Greetings, citizen. Staying out of trouble, I presume?
Another quiet day. Good. There's plenty that needs doing. You couldn't possibly be the Dragonborn of legend, could you? Debts are debts. Either he pays them, or his kind do. Fine. You sound like a priest of Mara, but I get your point. Tell him to forget about the gold. Fear not. Come dragon or giant, we'll be ready.
Need something? You are free to leave.
Have you come to visit the Highquin? Well, get in line. I've been waiting for weeks on account of that clumsy oaf of an executioner. Is that so? Well, maybe the Sandwalker was finally sober, because the execution I witnessed was a tribute to incompetence. It took 2 cuts to slice off the head, the first cut being so poor it squirted blood all over a couple of elven dignitaries standing up front. I offered my handkerchief to the lady, as is custom, but instead she reached for my cloak and wiped the blood all over the fur. So, you're an alchemist, huh? Sounds like something you learn when you can't afford to replace things with gold. In this case, though, such skills might prove useful. That is, if I was willing to entrust the cloak of Oakheart to some plant-cuddling rube. 7 generations this cloak has been in my family. 7! A noble like yourself would understand. One of my ancestors strangled a bear to death with his bare hands to get this fur, and it's been passed down from father to son ever since. Well, she can start by hiring a real executioner and having him take Hoktar's head. Some land would be nice, like, say, Catalyst Farm or Dragonbridge. It will likely take both to compensate me for my loss. And if it's true what the gods say, and the High Queen has no intention of seeing me, then perhaps I'll go talk to someone who will. In fact, I think I'll pay the Jarl of Windhelm a visit. I hear he actually values Nord heritage.
Solitude. The sheer scale and size of it never gets old. What's our next plan of action? What do you want to talk about? No, family. I only ever had a father, and even now he's gone. It's complex for me, to say the least. I've learned to adapt, I guess. Find solace in the connections I can make. Like the one I have with you. What's my strategy? Sure. Watching your back. Do you need something? Affirmative.
Huh? All right then.
The Imperials are good for business, and business is good for Skyrim. I'm a Thane. In the future, you may want to gain that information before talking with someone. Oh, most certainly. At least when Elisif herself asks. If you're inquiring whether we have concerns about her age and inexperience, let me put it this way. The Thanes have every confidence in General Tullius's leadership. Good. We've wasted enough time
Yes?
here.
All right then.
Something folks at court won't admit. Take a look. All right. slicing, dicing, and baking. Something just ain't right about that Sabille. You know, I've never seen her eat a thing. That can't be natural. Folks at court, take a look. All right, back to slicing, dicing, and baking.
Are you my gallant hero? Have you come to whisk me away to a life of adventure and romance? Don't mess anything up while you're here.
Hello there.
Oh, hey there. Impressive conjuration skills.
due respect to the lovely Jarl Elisif, I don't think she can decide what, where, or when to shit without General Tullius's or her steward's input.
Your magical reserves are prodigious. Light armor does provide a lot of tactical advantages, just don't get hit.
Don't play tag with the kids. It's a trap to a never-ending chase around the city.
What the?
Staying safe, I hope?
It's been my honor to perform at the Blue Palace on many occasions. His late lordship was quite the... I'm a bard from the Bard's College here in Solitude. Wanderers like you think about applying. Of course. It would seem so.
Perhaps we could pick up the pace a little? My boots are starting to slosh.
Without the mantle of a student, you may find a cold reception here. But fret not, there's all...
Welcome to the Bard's College. I'm the headmaster here. How may I help you? Always a pleasure to meet a prospective bard. You should be aware that many apply, but we accept very few people. When possible, we ask applicants to perform tasks the college needs completed. In this case, I do have a task befitting an aspiring bard. Elisif has forbidden the burning of King Olaf, a festival put on by the Bard's College. We need to change her mind. To convince her, I want to read King Olaf's verse, a part of the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim. Unfortunately, the verse was lost long ago. Yes, according to Giraud, our history's keeper, the portion of the Edda dealing with King Olaf might still exist in Dead Man's Respite. I need you to retrieve the poem. As you may be aware, Elisif's husband, High King Torrig, was recently killed. Elisif mourns her husband deeply, and she feels that a festival that burns a king in effigy is distasteful. I tried to convince her the festival is many centuries old and celebrates solitude, but I need proof. I believe King Olaf's verse will provide that proof. Not much, to be honest. Their return was a shock to us all. Gerard Germain has some tomes about them in the library, if you're interested. Not much, but as a bard, I find the whole affair depressing. There are no heroes in this war, no winners to be had, and no real conclusion. If you want something a bard can dig into, look to the dragons. 1,000 years from now, Skyrim will have changed rulers dozens of times, but the return of the dragons, that story is once in an era. I think Giraud here would give you the best explanation of both it and the history of King Olaf's verse. You should speak to him about it. I wish you luck in finding the verse.
Good to meet a prospective bard. He's sending you after King Olaf's verse, then. That's good. We shouldn't leave it lying around now that I figured out where it is. The verse was Svagnir's contribution to the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim. Each bard adds to the Edda in his or her time. And a very ancient one. The verse criticized the reigning King Olaf. He was so incensed the bard was put to death and all the copies burned. At least, that's what we thought until I translated some ancient texts a year or so ago. We now believe King Olaf buried the truth with the bard. If I'm right, Svagnir and King Olaf's verse lie in Dead Men's Respite, along with the burial chamber of King Olaf himself. Well, you've come to the right place. Well, you've come to the right place. Be careful. You might find more than just King Olaf's verse in Dead Man's Respite.
Retrieving a lost poem from an ancient tomb seems like a strange entrance exam. Are all bards hardened grave robbers? Ah well, what do I know?
I'd like to think that one day I could trust you. What is it? I specialize with two-handed weapons. You know that already. I'm fair with other combat arts as well, like archery and one-handed weapons. However, I don't know much about spellcasting right now. Still working on that. And if I don't have a weapon on me, I can use my fists. I've been told that they punch like steel, quite literally. I'll keep it in mind. Thanks. Sure. What were they? Just recently, actually. And out of desperation, during one of my old contracts. Kind of a kill or be killed scenario. I'm lucky I even got out of that scrape alive. However, that's a story for another time. I'm not. I'm still barely mediocre. I only just know how to fire a bow. And I don't even hit my targets half the time. Sure. What were they?
The game crashed. That's shitty. Didn't expect that. It'll be a couple minutes to start it back up. In the meantime, I'll shut it down and start the stream up again.